So far, we've seen online, partially online, and offline applications. How do we build an offline application using GeneXus? If we want an application to run offline, we must set the connectivity support property of its main object to offline. This value enables the application to be generated offline. Also, the necessary native code will be generated for the application to be run without invoking the REST services of the web server. Once a main object's connectivity support property is set to offline, the application is installed on the device, the local database is created, and the tables are created there. So, since the event day dashboard of our application is our main object, we change its connectivity support property to offline. The connectivity support property is also available at the level of objects not set as main. Its value can be online, offline, or inherit. All the tables that have the connectivity support property set to inherit and are used in smart device objects invoked from the main object, directly or indirectly, will be created in the local database of the device. If they are set to be online, the table will not be created in the local database because the server table will be accessed through REST services. The inherit value is displayed only in objects not set as main. In addition, the connectivity support property set to offline can be assigned to an object. In this case, the tables will be created in the local database and the object will work offline even if the main object works online. What tables are effectively sent when an application is set to offline? If we have this invocation tree, the tables that will be sent to the device are all those of the offline objects, and those that inherit the offline connectivity of the caller object. In addition, referential integrity and the attributes mentioned both in panels and in prompts will be contemplated. For every main object that has the connectivity support property set to offline, an object called offline database is created. It's created the first time this main object is built after changing the connectivity support property to offline. At the same time, the programs to create the local database are created in the device's native language. This object is responsible for determining when the synchronization is run, which tables will be created in the local database, and which data is sent to them when they are synchronized with the server tables. The offline database object has events, conditions, and properties that allow determining its behavior. The only event that can be programmed is the start event. It's run on the server before every submission of data to the client for synchronization. That is to say, only in the receive operation. This event is designed to initialize variables and other processing that must be run before synchronizing the tables. Conditions are used, just like any other GeneXus object, to define filters over the data. They are only used in the receive operation. Filters are applied to the server tables to know which data is sent to the device. This implies that the data in the local database can be a subset of the data in the server database. In addition, that there are no records of a specific table in the device. They are independent and applied to the extended table, so GeneXus has the necessary intelligence to determine the tables to which they are applied. The navigation list shows the conditions applied to each table. For the conditions expressions, variables that are predefined or defined by the developer can be used, and in this case, they must be assigned in the start event. The offline database object is where the properties we've seen for send and receive are configured. In sum, for an offline application that uses GAM, we need to take into account that credentials will always be saved on the server. Therefore, the login operation can only be made online. Once logged in, users can work offline. In mobile applications, authorization has not been implemented, only authentication. Next, we will see a short demo about building an offline application in GeneXus. Now I'll run the application. What will I show? Since the application is still online, when I change something from the web interface, I can see the change on the device. And if I change something on the device, it will be updated in the web interface. This happens because the application is online. That is to say, the device is synchronized with the REST service and is able to access the application's database. Later on, I will convert it to offline. I'm logging into the web application. Let's browse some details. For example, here we have Alejandro Simas. We will change his first name, Alejandro. Let's suppose his middle name starts with A, and we save. Now we open the Android application, which I'm running with the KVN. As you can see, Alejandro A. Simas is displayed, which means that the change was automatically applied. If I open here and edit the value, and here on the web, we can see that the change was automatically made. What I will do now is convert this application into an offline application. To do so, we open GeneXus, and in my main object, which in this case is this Event Day menu, I change the connectivity support property to offline. Next, I select Run. As we can see, the object Event Day Offline Database has been created below Event Day, below my dashboard. It's the object in which I can change all the necessary criteria to receive or send data to the server IDEs. In addition, the impact analysis report shows that all these tables will be locally created in the device. The reason is that I haven't changed any of these work with elements. Therefore, they all have the inherit property, and that's why these tables will be created on the device. What I will do is change these values. Instead of setting the update to take place when the application is started, I will set it at regular intervals so that the update, that is to say, the synchronization, takes place every 10 seconds. Perfect. Now I will run the application again. We already have the tables generated in the device, as well as all the necessary synchronization logic. And I want the synchronization to take place every 10 seconds. That's why, in the minimum time between receives property, I've set the maximum time elapsed between receive operations to 10 seconds. Our offline application is still connected to the internet, so we disconnect it. To do so, I turn on the airplane mode, and the application is now completely offline. We open the web interface and make a change. First, we log in. Suppose that now we change Alejandro Simas' country, which is Uruguay, to the United States. We save, and now we open the emulator and see that Alejandro Simas' country is still Uruguay. Why? Because it hasn't been synchronized yet. We will change the details of another speaker. For example, suppose that Alejandro's middle name is Eduardo. We save, and the change is displayed here. We update the browser. Obviously, the changes are not displayed because it hasn't been synchronized. That is to say, Alejandro Simas is not from the US, and Alejandro Blengio is not called Eduardo. So now, I will synchronize the changes in the device. This means I will connect the device to the internet so that the synchronization is made. Now it's back online. We return to the browser, update it, and we see that now Alejandro Eduardo Blengio is displayed. That is to say, what had been changed in the device is now updated in the server database. Let's see if these changes were sent to the device. That's right, Alejandro Simas is now from the United States, which means that the device data has also been synchronized. While the application was offline, I was able to work with the device as if it was connected to the internet. And when the connection was restored via Wi-Fi, the synchronization took place. This means I can work in an offline application and then have it synchronized when the connection is restored. This is the end of this basic demo, which showed how easy it is to create an offline application in GeneXus. In this video, we've seen how GeneXus can help us implement online, partially online, or completely offline mobile applications, as well as the synchronization process of the data between the device working offline or partially online and the web server. To learn more about this topic, go to the link displayed on the screen.